All right,
Anyway,
let's get to the game
let's
recaps
go.
from last week. Four playoff games, wild endings in most of them. None of them were blowouts, right? No. I mean, I guess the Saints Tampa at the end was over, but for the
Bills
most
game was
part,
a
the Saints were
blowout.
in it. Say again?
The Bills game was a blowout in a way,
A
in a
super
defensive game.
blowout, but that was more towards the end, right?
Yeah.
Majority of the game was pretty close.
So kick us off, Pete. Which game you want to recap first?
Well, let's start with I guess the larger of the blowouts. So we had the Packers and the Rams. So no surprise there. A-Rod did his thing. I mean, it was a test on that defense, right? To see what would happen. But at the end of the day, the Packers, A-Rod, he's playing the type of season he is, and they were to bring it to him, take it away. So I wasn't too surprised with that matchup there. It was, I think, what we all had expected. I think we all picked the Packers to advance there, but I would have liked to see a little more of a fight. See if the fight would have been put up from like the last previous round of the Rams coming in, right?
How much of this game do you put on Jared Goff's thumb?
They were okay. You want to? I think you're probably okay. I'll say it real quick. They were talking about it pregame, and they're talking about how hard. Like I think it was Michael Vick talking about it pregame. He was talking about if you look at his hand, how hard it is for him to grip that ball, especially in the cold, that it was really going to affect it. I don't think that's the reason they lost. I think the Packers just have an amazing offensive line. The defense couldn't even do anything. They couldn't even touch Aaron Rodgers. If you can't touch Aaron Rodgers, you're not going to beat that team. I think that's also more to blame than we knew Jared Goff's hand was fucked up, right? So I kind of blame the defense a little bit more because they needed to step up and they didn't.
Even if
But
his
you know what? I mean, like, how much can you ask from Aaron Donald? He was injured too. Like, didn't he have like a broken rib or something? He played with a broken rib.
Yeah, but like he does not need to like be at 100% every play in my opinion because you can't throw the ball without a thumb, and that's the most important position in football, right? Like we talk about all the time.
I totally agree with you, and I think we talked about the last round of the games, but I mean, he still went 21 of 27. Like, he had a pretty high completion rate on that too. So, I think it was more than just his thumb and that factor. I think that game. I mean, we knew that they're gonna.
Pete froze. Go ahead, Rosh. Tell me.
The thing about it is that Jared Goff, if you guys remember from the combine when he was entering the draft, has super small hands, right? So his hand size is 9 inches, whereas on average, quarterbacks tend to range around the 10-inch mark. So not only does he have small hands to begin with, then the thumb obviously is a huge impact. But I don't even think it was his hand that caused them the loss. I think it's him. I think he's a bad quarterback. I don't think Sean McVay wants him anymore, but they're contractually locked into him. And it's funny how there was that offseason where the Rams signed Goff to a contract extension. The Eagles signed Wentz to a contract extension, the number 1 and number 2 overall picks. And now just a few years later, they both want to like part ways with their quarterback. So it shows you it's good to sign these guys like early as soon as you can when you think they're going to be good because you get them at a discount. But sometimes they may backfire like it has these two situations.
Well, Jared Goff is signed all the way till 2024, but they have a potential out in 2023.
But they don't want him. Like the thing that's been coming out these past few days, as I'm sure you guys have seen, is the drama or controversy or just disagreements between McVay and Goff. And so, like, obviously, Goff is not executing the way that McVay wants him to. And McVay, from all we know, is this offensive guru. And so that's not a healthy duo.
I think, I mean, in this debate between Goff and McVay's going to 100% win. You know, and how there's certain situations where the quarterback kind of, you know, is in the owner's ear or something like that. I don't think that's going to be the situation over here. Like, if McVay doesn't want Goff, I think they're going to get rid of Goff.
Yeah, for sure. That organization has trust in the head coach more than the quarterback, which is the way it should be, honestly, with all organizations.
I mean, it's the opposite of what Philly's situation was, right? Like, Philly Peterson wanted to get rid of Wentz, and basically Jeffrey Lurie was like, no, we're going to keep Wentz and we're going to get rid of you.
Yeah, honestly, whoever picks up Peterson, I'm not sure if he's being considered for head coaching jobs, but he's the real steal if you get him. Okay, so
I bet he goes to Detroit. I bet he ends up in Detroit.
I'd be happy. I'd be happy if he ends up anywhere because it's not in the NFC East anymore.
That's fair. Pete, were you going to say something about that? About Jared Goff? Because he had cut out a little bit.
No, I'm pretty sure it was exactly what Arash had mentioned. I was
Cool.
like, I wouldn't blame it on the thumb. He went 21 of 27 throwing. We saw him throwing around before it. Them coming in, we knew that they were gonna have to play on both sides of the ball, so it wasn't his thumb. And I think what Arash said, it was him, not his thumb. So, anyways, let's go on to the other matchup, which was a little disappointing in my
Yeah.
opinion from excitement game. I thought the Ravens and Bills game was gonna be that was going to be a fun game to watch. First half, I might have fallen asleep watching the score be at 3-3 for the longest time or 0-0.
Yeah, that game was mad disappointing. Like that had a lot of hype. In my opinion, I thought it was gonna be the best game, and was it was a great defensive matchup. If you're really into football, you'll like it, right? That's what they tell you. Yeah, man, I want scoring in the playoffs. All right, I want scoring.
Yeah, oh man, I thought these two guys, I thought Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson were really going to put the teams on their backs, and we're going to see some fun plays, and we see some both quarterbacks are mobile, they can run. Yeah, first half, I literally was like, what am I watching? I don't want to watch any of that defense.
So I'm a Lamar Jackson fan, but like, man, like he needs to play better. Like that loss is on him. Honestly, like that loss is on him. Like he did not play well, and I do also think Baltimore needs to get him like a weapon. Like Marquise Brown, like Hollywood Brown is fine. He's not a number one receiver. That's what this year has told me because he has so many drops and it's terrible. That they just need to get him a guy that is a big dude that's a big target that he can just fling it to, and that's what they need to go out and get. But like Lamar Jackson needs to play better. But I mean, it
That
sucks.
100, yeah, I would say, man. I mean, he killed him with the 101 yard, basically pick six, right? That
Yeah,
was crucial.
that ended the game. Like
That
that ended the game, and then I mean, it's not his fault he gets concussed, but like then getting concussed and you can't even come back at that point.
Well, forget the concussed, right? After that, he was shook, completely shook. Like those couple plays leading up to that concussion, you could tell the game was over. First of all,
Yeah.
game was already over, but there was no plays. It was not going in the favor. He was running for his life, throwing the ball, and it just that 100 yard.
Yeah.
After that, the game was over.
They need to help him. Like it's the losses on Lamar Jackson, I'll say, but like they still need to get him help at the end of the day. They need another weapon. They need
The
like a
Ravens
reliable weapon.
need to do what the Bills did for their quarterback.
Yeah.
Like you look at Stephon Diggs, how much he has helped that Bills organization, that Bills offense this year. And just like Josh Allen, dude, like Josh Allen just has to chuck the ball up in the air, which we all know that he can do, and Stephon Diggs is coming down with it.
Yep.
When's the last time that Stephon Diggs has had under 100 yards? Like, I can't tell you that.
Did that
Like,
happen even this season?
Guaranteed getting like 8 catches, 100 yards, and a touchdown a game. Like, long balls, short balls, doesn't matter. This man's doing everything he possibly can. And it has shown like how much the Bills have progressed, especially in their quarterback department. Just having a true number one guy coming in and helping your quarterback, give him that safety net of somebody that can kind of be successful. You know, like look at most of the good quarterbacks in the league right now. They all have like a pure number one.
So to give you to answer your question, I think he finished off the year strong. I think 6 out of the 7 games he finished with over 100 yards, but in the beginning,
It started off slow.
He only had 1 or 2 games, and throughout the middle, he had 46, 48, 92, 39, 92. So regardless, he's finished off strong. He had a great season, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
It's
Yeah.
not that. So we've seen this a few times, right? The last 3 years now, Lamar Jackson goes from having this unbelievable regular season to being completely shut down. As I was hearing you guys kind of express your dissatisfaction with this game, it shows the difference in our age, however slight it may be, because I loved it, man. I love these kind of games where you
think the
have low
difference is-
scoring, defensive battles, missed field goals. Like you're literally battling for each point, not just for each cluster of touchdowns. And
It
I
wasn't even
enjoy
good defense though. It was bad quarterback play at times. It was like not.
Well, Lamar Jackson's a bad quarterback, so yeah,
I
you gotta
mean, you
expect.
can't call someone a bad quarterback.
For a
One
while, I
MVP.
said that from the beginning of the year. He's not going to be a success. He's not going to have a Hall of Fame career at all.
I agree with JK. Like you
I
got to
don't know
look
about
at these kind of quarterbacks who rely on their legs, and sure, they make great plays during the season, but when it's playoff time, defenses will make you beat them with your arm, right? That's why all these quarterbacks like Colin Kaepernick, who made it to the Super Bowl, got shut down in the Super Bowl. That's why quarterbacks like Michael Vick get to the NFC Championship game, but they get shut down because
But
when
that's deep in the playoffs, right? That's like
well,
deep
sure,
to
they
get
made it,
shut
and
down finally there.
but
Like,
eventually, when defenses zone in, and if they can do it the right way, and they make you beat them with your arm, that's when you lose. Like Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen, sure, they are mobile, but they have great mechanics and great ability to throw the ball. That's why they go to these next levels. I don't think Lamar Jackson has that. And the next year or two, we're going to be on a new episode talking about the Ravens re-signing Lamar, and it's going to be a huge mistake. They're going to lock themselves in to a guy who honestly at this point in his career hasn't developed as a passer as much as he needs to. So when we compare him to Josh Allen, I wouldn't, because Josh Allen's a better thrower than Lamar, even though Josh Allen can also run the ball. But I love the game, man. I thought it was a great game. I was sad when it started becoming a blowout at the end, because up until then it was such a just like every moment you're fighting for a yard. You're not fighting for every 7-point cluster grouping of touchdowns.
I don't know. I don't know. I disagree. I think Lamar Jackson will be fine. I think there's still time. They need to get him a weapon still. The guys he said have weapons that he does not have.
But here's the thing.
And then
This is where I'm going to question you, right?
Mhm.
When has Baltimore ever invested into
Steve Smith
an aging Steve Smith?
still played great until the end. He played great till the end. And before that, Derek Mason. Before that, with Steve
An
McNair.
aging Derek Mason.
And he still played great. Todd Heap was good too at the time, and they had Todd Heap the whole time.
Homegrown. Todd Heap was homegrown.
Sure. But no, my point is, like, even if you're aging, you can still be good at the end. I mean, I'm not saying they were elite. They weren't in their best years, but Steve Smith was playing well at those times. He played well in Baltimore. Steve Smith, I feel like could still play right now if, he got conditioned. I feel like he left at a high, to be honest. I also love his trash talk. He's elite level trash talker. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's time to invest in an elite talent. That's what you have to do.
At wide receiver?
Yeah.
Yeah, they can, and it'll help. But at the end of the day, like, if a defense puts 9 people in the box and outside you have man-to-man coverage, it's up to the quarterback at the end of the day to make the pass. However great the receiver might be, it has to be an accurate pass to give the guy a chance.
Agreed. I mean, at least I think they need to at least give him a chance. Like, give him that guy, and then when he doesn't do it, then I'll agree with you. But until then,
No, I'm sure they will.
Marquise Brown, I saw him drop it in the end zone way too many times. Like, just come on, man. You're a first-round pick. What the fuck? This is
when
like
that backup came in, who looks just like Lamar Jackson, like he has the same stature, and like I forgot Lamar Jackson's number at one point because it almost looked like him. Dude, that Hail Mary throw to Marquise Brown, I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, he's open, and he freaking overthrew it, or maybe the wind carried it.
Also, by the way, Gogia, I wouldn't say Steve Smith was that successful. He did have one 1,000-yard year, which was his first year.
Mm-hmm.
After that, he played 7 games, which is an injury-plagued year.
Get him.
His last season, 800 yards.
Get him.
Right? And on top of that, he came there for only 3 years when he was 35. I don't care what you say. Mm-hmm. Steve Smith is not going to be Steve Smith.
Sure.
Get him.
But they still have to pay him to be there, right? That's still a decent player to have. Like that still is a better player than like a lot outside of Terry McLaurin, anybody we have on our roster, right?
The Ravens have done well with these last few years, signing like an aging receiver and getting like production out of them. They've had Steve Smith, they had Mike Wallace, they wanted Des Bryant last year before he tore his knee.
I think Steve Smith made his money running routes. That's how he made his money, right? He's an elite route runner, and you don't have to be fast to be an elite route runner.
He's also physical.
But what I'm trying to say is like, you put getting Diggs in his prime in like 25 or something like that for like.
Sure, they didn't do that. Yes, they didn't do that. I agree with you.
And then you compare that to like getting a 35-year-old Steve Smith.
What they should do, what I would think is helping, like my level of helping Lamar would be getting AJ Green. As a free agent, getting AJ Green, if he's, I don't know what level of health he is, but that's like, that would help more than what he has right now, right?
No, you got to get one of these guys, get Juju, get Josh Allen, get one of those guys. That's what they're, Allen Robinson, not Josh Allen.
I was like, Josh Allen, that's going to make it hard.
Get Allen Robinson.
Josh Allen would make it perfect for him. You want him to do anything.
So
if they get Allen Robinson and he doesn't play well, I will happily agree with you guys. They just need some of that. I think it's unfair to judge him without that at this point.
That's fine, but go after those guys in the first place.
I don't work in the front office. I can't do it. I tried. I called him.
I personally don't think that they are going to pursue one of these guys.
We'll see. We'll see. They're a good organization. They know what they're doing, so I'm not gonna fight them on that.
Well, leave it at that. Let me go on to the next game, which, man, was it entertaining? And man, did I not see this coming at all. So we
ask the first question.
What?
Ask the first question I wrote down on the WhatsApp.
We'll get there. We'll get there. Don't worry. So the Cleveland Browns versus Kansas City. I for sure was like the Cleveland Browns are the pretenders, and they're this game's going to be over in the first quarter. Damn, I did not see the first quarter ending 6-3, Kansas City leading only by 3 points. This entire game was so entertaining to watch. As you think Kansas City's pulling away, they get to what I think it's like 19-3. And then Jarvis Landry scores again. They bring it back to 10-19. And then what do you know? It's like 10-22. And then you see Patrick Mahomes get hurt. And then you're like, wow, this game started off close. You're like, damn, it's gone, like what you think. And then it comes back close again. But as Gogia led, how big are Andy Reid's balls?
So I think it's PFF, or I don't know who did the stat, but that was the first time unless you're running out the clock to win the game, a team ran the ball on 4th and short in a game that they were still trying to win. Threw the ball. Sorry, threw the ball, not ran the ball. Threw the ball. My bad.
So before that, let's talk about the play before that. I've never been so frustrated. I just wanted to see like the Browns try to pull this off, right? So it was third and 14. You have anything is possible in the game now. You got Chad Henne playing.
God.
He picks up 13 yards on that fucking play, and this guy, he runs like a 5-second 40. What is going on here with the defense? How are you going to let a non-mobile quarterback basically pick up 13 yards? You almost got 14. Give it the spot of the ball, right? So then you get there, and I think it was hilarious. Tony Romo was calling the game, and Tony Romo's the guy who foresees everything of the future, right? He's like, this is a hard count, 4th and 1. They will not throw the ball. They'll just be hanging on here. Next thing you know, boom, snap the ball, pick up the first down. That was insane.
It was an awesome game, man. I was pulling for the Browns. I feel like they got jobbed, right? There was that fumble into the end zone, which really sucked. And that rule has come into play a few times. And each time I feel like it's happening against the team I'm rooting for. The one that comes to mind is Seattle versus Detroit, Megatron going into the end zone, and then Cam Chancellor punching the ball out. That's just a shitty rule.
Des Bryant versus the Packers in the playoff game. Same thing has happened.
Well, that was a good one. I was okay with that one.
Yeah,
so
sure.
Wait, what do you guys think about the rule? Because I was on Twitter, and it's very 50-50. And I'm starting to agree with the fact that don't fumble. It's the rule. Don't fumble. I mean, you should never fumble, right?
I kind of get that piece of it, but another piece of it that I see, again, I'm just playing the other side of it, right? Devil's advocate.
Yeah.
So they've instituted basically the rule where under 2 minutes in each half and 4th down, you can't advance the ball on a fumble, right? Basically, it's you go and recover, or if it goes out of bounds, whatever it is, it's back to where the fumble occurred, and only the same player, the fumble, can advance the ball. I don't know, throwing out ideas here, but I agree with don't fumble. The rule is what it's been. I mean, it sucks, but it is what it is.
It was just the most Browns thing to do.
But I can see,
the Browns went Browns.
I can see, since they changed that rule for the 4th down and the 2-minute rule, where if you fumble that ball and it goes out of bounds, it can't be advanced. You take it from the fumble, but the defense didn't recover it. They recovered it. Obviously, they get the ball.
I think I was reading online one suggestion. It was from some analyst, was make it a really hefty penalty, right? That if you fumble and it goes out of bounds, it's loss of down, and you go back to the 40.
Well, the greatest penalty you can get from a yardage standpoint is 20 yards, right? So that's currently today. So it should be fumble in the end zone. It goes back 20-yard line. And sure, if you want to give him a loss of down, give him a loss of down. And that's a great penalty. Like, think about it. You're an inch away from scoring and you're going to put them at the 20. Like, that's reasonable. You shouldn't give the ball to the other team. I'm so upset. And not just about the rule, because the rule's a rule, but it should have been a penalty too, right? The safety for the Chiefs, number 49,
Yeah.
I forget the guy's name, but I love him. He leads with the crown of his head and makes contact with the opponent. With the ball carrier. And that's a penalty on its own. So not only am I pissed because the rule sucks, I'm pissed because they missed the penalty. And I picked the Chiefs to win, but I was rooting for the Browns, man. It'd be so fun to root for that underdog.
So I get what you said with the 20-yard penalty, but I mean, again, back to what they've changed the rule already to be consistent. Like, why not keep it consistent and say you can't progress it? But I mean, the defense could recover the ball in the end zone, but if it goes out, same thing. Put it back to where you fumbled the ball. It went out of bounds. Neither team recovered. Nothing happened. Lose the down, that's fine. You lost it down, whatever it is, and just take the ball from there.
I am in the camp of like, if you fumble that close, there should be a penalty. Like, I don't fumble the ball and really don't fumble it when you're about to score.
But again,
I mean,
it's
it's too drastic.
area, like where you're at, there's less space, and again, like Arash said, that potentially was a penalty right there. So like,
No, a penalty aside. I mean, obviously the penalty, I don't disagree. That was targeting or whatever. That was helmet to helmet, right? I agree with that. But like, if the rule right now is that it goes to the other team, it should still be pretty harsh if you're still going to keep the ball.
no, but what I'm trying to argue is
Yeah.
what you're saying of you shouldn't fumble there. I think that's you're looking at the wrong mentality. You got guys that are going to be fighting extra hard for that extra yard or reaching out or whatever they're doing, right? Versus in the middle of a field or whatever open route running, you're not trying to do that. You're just holding on the ball.
I mean, it already helped. The whole game helps the offense at the moment, right? Everything, like, it's roughing the passer if you don't put a pillow down and read him a bedtime story at this point. Let one thing go for the defense. You know what I mean? Like, what one penalty is for the defense.
I get what you're saying, but I totally don't agree with you there. I'm in a different motion of that. I think it's a hefty penalty because, like, think about it. Like, you fumbled there, but the defense didn't maybe they caused a fumble or whatever. They didn't really do anything, and they didn't recover the ball, and then you're screwed because it's safety and they're getting the ball. So why are you rewarding the defense that much for your fuck up, really?
It is funny in a league where they're doing everything to promote offensive production. They have this one rule that is conflicting with it.
I mean, I just miss hard hitting football. So let's give the defense one thing. Like just give them one thing. Like, do you remember the Aaron Rodgers sack like many years ago when they first implemented like the roughing the passer, and like he literally just picked him up and put him down and they threw a flag, and it's like, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? So like
that 4-game stretch was just honestly absurd.
Oh my God.
Anyways, it sucks for the Browns. But they're there. Like, they have a good offensive line. It doesn't sound like OBJ is in their future plans, even though he's still under contract. But they got running backs, they got quarterback, they had a second-round safety that they drafted from LSU, Grant Delpit, who missed the entire season. So if we're talking about what are the Browns missing to get them to the next level, honestly, I think they're almost there. I don't think they're missing much. They have 2 good tight ends. They have 2 great running backs. Like, what are they missing, really?
So what do you guys feel about Baker then? Like, I have not seen anything from Baker that goes like, yo, this defense better be good. Like, this defense better be good and this running game better be good. Because if the defense has a bad day and they stuff the line, I don't know if Baker can win you the game, really. Like, Baker.
How many quarterbacks in the league can win you the game like that?
Exactly.
I mean, you guys are so critical. Wait. You're so critical to Lamar. You're so critical.
Listen. You have 32 teams, right?
Sure.
Is Baker in the top 16 or bottom 16?
Top 16 for sure.
Okay.
But like 14. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, your guys are so critical of Lamar Jackson, right? But I mean, this guy didn't
here's
have
a question. Of the 4 of us, would you take Lamar today or would you take Baker?
I would
one
actually
has won an MVP. One has not won an MVP.
I honestly would rather take Lamar. At least he can run the ball and like fuck up your offensive, like your defensive plan, right? Baker, I
would also take Lamar.
Okay, then I'm arguing nothing because you guys are kind of going to agree with me.
Here's the thing. You put
Let me hear what Pete says.
That's what I was thinking. Lamar Jackson.
On that team. Put Lamar Jackson on the Browns team, dude. They're gonna be successful.
Oh, okay. I was gonna get so angry because I thought you were gonna disagree.
I take Baker. I'd take
That's
Baker.
but why? Okay, honestly, I'm asking why. Like, what is
You're
he doing?
saying Lamar would screw up your defensive plans, your defensive team's plan. And I'm saying no, your defensive team's plan would be to stop the way Lamar plays ball and make him play the way a normal quarterback would have to play ball because he
Lamar
can't do that.
we don't even know because Lamar has never played with someone like Jarvis Landry and Austin Hooper and at sometimes OBJ whenever he feels like playing and with even better running backs at that
I
point.
don't even
Yeah,
know why
Nick
you're throwing
Chubb,
Austin
Kareem
Hooper
Hunt.
into that category because Austin Hooper had an ass season, dude. Like,
Sure,
he
sure,
But
but
he had a hell of a 4th down catch to keep that drive alive
But-
for the Browns.
talent wise is there. Talent is there.
Austin Hooper is considered one of the better tight ends. I get if he had an ass of the season, but you can't.
Hooper's getting paid like one of the
Yeah.
top tight ends
Yep.
in the league.
No, he's
That's
getting
10
paid like the
million a year.
he's getting paid like the number 1 tight end in the league.
Good for
So,
him.
I
Austin
mean-
Hooper just had his second worst season in the NFL. He's never started 16 games ever.
I'm not sitting here trying to give Austin Hooper his roses right now. I'm just saying that the guy, like, it would help Lamar Jackson to have him, would it not? Like, that's my point. But
To
anyways, yeah.
wrap this up, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
the Ravens are missing more pieces than the Browns.
Agreed.
Oh yeah, 100%, a million percent. On
Okay.
both sides of the ball.
So one last piece
And-
of that matchup. So going into the next game, right? So now we got Patrick Mahomes under concussion protocol, which is going to be interesting. Chad Henne, my opinion, no way beats the Packers. They need Patrick Mahomes to put up a chance there.
Do you think Chad Henne
The
gets
Bills.
the
Sorry,
the Bills. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Bills. Yeah, sorry.
yeah.
Mix it up games. Yeah. So yeah, I don't see him being able to do it. Like he came in at the end, but nah, that just a 13-yard run and a first down throw is not enough in my book to see anything out of that.
The thing that was evident to me and that should scare the Bills is that Andy Reid didn't change the way he was playing. He was calling plays when Chad Henne was in the game. He was calling it the same way he would if it was Patrick Mahomes. And Patrick and Chad Henne are not the same player, but that's the right way to approach it. Because a lot of coaches, 9 out of 10 coaches, they would limit their play calling based on a more limited quarterback.
I like what he did. Keep your foot on the gas. Don't start.
Yeah.
playing defense.
He honestly did. He called it the
think
way
the
Patrick
biggest
Mahomes
thing
would.
in that is the fact that Chad Henne's been in this league for so long now.
Yo, do you guys from-
like you can't expect like someone like Tyler Heineke coming in and playing exactly like how Alex Smith would, right? And I'm not trying to throw Washington football team into this shit, but like,
But you are.
But you are.
but like, you know what I mean? Like, Chad Henne has been in the league for a long time. He knows what he's doing. Andy Reid is one of the best coaches in the league, if not the best coach in the league. Like, Henne's going to be prepared. The
Yeah.
whole team's going to be prepared.
And he may need to be. When we get to the next round to discuss the next round, we'll get our opinions on if we think Mahomes will play. But he may need Chad Henne. So let's wrap this up with Saints Bucks, unless someone else has a final point on this matchup.
I'm gonna say one thing. Have y'all seen Chad Henne play? I'm not gonna be putting my money on Chad Henne. I would put my money on Andy Reid, but not Chad Henne. Not anything is not possible. I'm just gonna put it out there. That's it.
I mean, let me tell you something right now.
I just go ahead.
All right, go back to like the Philly days, right? Go back all the way back to Philly.
He didn't play on Philly.
Anytime, no, I'm not talking about Chad Henne right now. I'm talking
Oh.
about Andy Reid.
Sure.
Anytime Donovan McNabb went down, how much did the Eagles suffer?
When did he go down? Is a real question. Who came in for him?
Like Ty Detmer or whatever those names were. Like I forget. But you got coaches like Andy Reid and Bill Belichick. Anytime that their primary guy went down, the next guy stepping up was just as good. That's why Philly and the Patriots were able to always trade their secondary guy for like a second-round pick, a first-round pick, because their guys look just as good as their starters were. So I think Chad Henne's going to play like that under Andy Reid.
He's played 10 games since 2013, and I don't think he's won a single game.
He just won one. He
Except
just
for-
won one.
Except, huh?
He just won one.
I said except for the last one. Yeah.
And he came in at the end. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna.
You're right. You're right. Those 2 plays, you got me sold. Anyways, let's move on to the next one.
All right.
Drew
this-
Brees,
Battle
Tom
of the
Brady.
goats. Battle of the goats.
Well, I think Tom Brady declared that he's the only GOAT of the two.
He's
way
the
that
goat
the
of
game
this,
played out.
and Drew Brees was the goat of the regular season when he smacked his ass in that first game.
Dude, legends. Those are two legends, and it's damn. I'm sad. Like I'll just say it now. I know it's like further on the agenda, but I'm sad if Drew Brees' career is over. It's like an end of an era. It's like one of those like greats you're watching and walk away, and it's kind of sad. I'll say it like that. That's all because I still remember when he was leaving the Chargers, and he could have gone to Miami, but Dante Culpepper went there, and he went to the Saints, and he literally revitalized an organization that had been shit for literally decades. So, I mean, the dude, he should eat for free in New Orleans for the rest of his life. That's how I see it.
Pretty sure he will.
I'm pretty sure that he doesn't even throw beads at Mardi Gras. He should just see that. I'm just gonna say it like that.
Even
that's how I
on
feel.
days where it's not Mardi Gras.
Exactly. He should just walk
every
up
day,
and
no, every day is Mardi Gras for him.
exactly.
I felt for him. I felt really bad. You could just tell
Yeah.
on his face, his heart was broken. And
Yep.
like in my mind, I was like, I feel bad for you. But then in my mind, I was also like, it's your fault. You threw 3 interceptions. You screwed yourself. And like, I don't know. I feel for Drew Brees. I've been a huge fan of his, but when you give the ball over 4 times, 3 of them because of you, well, you can't blame anybody else but yourself.
When Jameis Winston and what's his name, the other guy, have better passer ratings than you in the same game, I mean, it's kind of your fault. But it's kind of your fault.
The
That
thing
play
that
was
sucks with Drew,
hilarious to have him come in and throw that touchdown against them. That was a.
I did love that. I did love that.
This is a great play call. The thing that sucks for Drew Brees is that he's had diminishing physical talents, right, over these years. And it's baffling because Tom Brady doesn't appear like he has. And Tom Brady's older from all accounts, right? So it sucks. But thankfully, Drew Brees has that football IQ, which has compensated for his diminishing physical skills. And so it just sucks, man, because this team has been poised to win. Like New Orleans has had great roster these last 3 years. And now 3 years in a row, the Saints have gotten knocked out.
4 years. They won 11 games, 13, and then I'm pretty sure 12 this year. No, 13 this year. It's wild.
It's not the type of game you want to see a guy like that, a goat like that, that's been in the game for a while, go out on, right? So you would hope to see that both of these guys would have kind of gave it to each other. They're both, two of the best that have played the game, and it just sucked to see, like you said, Arash. Like I've been a fan of him since he's been in, and you could see the hurt on his face, and he was pissed. And then that last look out of the tunnel before he went in, you could just tell it on his face.
I don't know why, man, but like, just like I have a pit in my stomach that just says like, the competitor that he is just says like, I can't go out like that.
I would think the same thing, but I feel like.
No, I mean like watching all the other stuff, like like the things with like his kids playing with Tom Brady on the side, like at the end of the game, like doing the whole goodbye. Michael Thomas saying like, "Yo, I fought through injuries because this might be the last season." Blah blah blah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like everything indicates it. Everything completely indicates that this is done. I mean, I just think like he's a competitor, bro. Like you're not gonna go out like that. Like you have one of the best wide receivers in the league that wasn't able to play much this season because of injuries. You have one of the best running backs in the league. You have a very good coach in the league. Like,
so you say you're not going to go out like that. What's the go out like that? Win a Super Bowl, right? Not everyone wins a Super Bowl. He did. He had a great season.
No. What I mean go out like that is like throw 3 interceptions in your last home game.
Yeah, so, okay, you're not going to throw 3 interceptions, but see how far he got them, right? It's not about one game. Like, you can't just say, I want to go out on a great game. I think the season that you had is more significant than the single last game that you play.
Logically,
right? Back next year, and let's say they don't make the playoffs. Who cares if he throws 5 touchdowns in the final game?
Logically, you're correct, but I think it's just one of those things where he's like, "Yo, they had the whole Minnesota game. They had all these like flukes of why they lost, right? And then the last game, it was his fault. I think he's supposed to come in and be like, I did everything to win and it didn't happen. Because he has to now live with it for the rest of his life that like that last game was on him, right? I'm not disagreeing with you, but I could see the like, Drew Brees has been like, there was a time where we didn't know if he could throw the ball after his shoulder surgery with the Chargers, right? The dude's tough, so I don't know.
I agree with what you're saying as well, but what I'll tell you is the GOATs of the game that played the game this long, they don't care if it's the last game or what it is. They know when they're like, when I'm ready to hang it up, I've played for this long. Like how Kobe Bryant said he knew, he's like, I know I'm done with it. He's like, the game isn't there for me anymore. Drew Brees, there was a reason why he said it before the season that, hey, this might be it, right? He's already starting to think about that mentally the way he is. There's a reason why he's throwing as long as he has what he's done. It's not going to be one last game. I agree, the competitor in him, I would want him to come back and be like, let me do something to make sure I did everything I could. But dude, the man is old, right? Like he could come back, get hurt next season, and not do anything.
I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm not even disagreeing. But then he heard his presser at the end where he's like, I don't know. I still have to make a decision. He backtracked on all of it now.
Yeah, but
no,
he's got to do that.
Yeah, I know.
He has to do that.
I know.
I mean, like, yeah, and Pete's right at that same point because, like, it's not like he wasn't injured these past 2 seasons, right?
Yeah,
like these statistically were his worst 2 seasons since like the Chargers days. So, like, you can't blame him for retiring. Like, no doubt.
No one is gonna blame him. I don't think that's the case. I think we're all just sad because it's like really like an end of like our childhood era coming to the end, you know?
It's not like he can pull a Peyton Manning and luckily get his defense to win him a Super Bowl and make it there, right?
Yeah.
Like he didn't have a phenomenal game.
All right, judgment time. Everyone answer. Does he come back? Go Gia?
I think he's gonna come back for one more season. And I don't want him to. I think that his career's over. I think let's not make it worse, right? I think he will.
Fair. JK, does he come back?
It depends. It really depends. I don't think that the decision is going to be made anytime soon.
Yeah.
I personally, gut feeling tells me he does come back, and I think he comes back with the knowledge that they're going to draft a quarterback in the first round for him to groom for this last final season.
Pete?
James Winston ain't it.
The thing is, they have Taysom Hill locked up, right? They signed him to last offseason.
Don't do this topic yet. Give it 1 second. Let's answer this question because that is one of my questions for you guys.
Pete, does he come back?
Yeah.
I think he's done, and leading maybe into what you're saying, they've got Taysom Hill and they got Jameis Winston there already. So it's not like it's not the greatest option, but they got an option.
Yeah.
He's done.
I don't think he comes back. I don't think it's because of Taysom Hill, because when they had Taysom Hill in, so Drew Brees got injured, right, during the season, they were winning, but they weren't winning like convincingly. They were like getting by. And Jameis Winston's on a 1-year deal. So if they want Jameis, they have to re-sign him as well. But I don't think he comes back. I think he knows he doesn't have it. You're referring to Kobe, and Kobe did say he knew when he needed to leave. But part of the reason that told him he needed to leave was because his body was failing him. And it was like giving out, and he couldn't do the things that he used to be able to do. And I think
Like,
Drew Brees is experiencing some of those.
He's like, mentally, I'm there. Physically, my body can't take it anymore.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. If Drew Brees is not the starting quarterback week 1, who is snapping the ball for New Orleans?
They better hope it's not someone on their current roster.
I don't think he's on their roster.
Okay. You agree, Pete? He's on the roster?
I agree, but watch us all eat our words, and it'll be Jameis Winston.
I think it will be Jameis Winston.
I think it's going to be Jameis Winston.
I think if it was going to be Jameis Winston, he would have taken over for him when Brees went down.
I honestly just think, I don't know. I don't know. I could really see it happening, and Jameis Winston's comeback story with Sean Payton. It'd be wild. Oh man, he's gonna be eating W's in New Orleans. Damn.
Like,
Damn.
he's not the ideal quarterback, right? Because he's the 30-30 guy, right? But like, he can throw 30. Can you fix his goddamn pass read? Like, can you fix the 30 interceptions piece of it?
He did. He got his eyes fixed.
Yeah, I mean, I think there could still be potential there. I think you got to see whether it can be salvaged or not.
It's not even a 30-30. He can throw 5,000 yards in a season. That's wild. That's not like nothing to shit on. But all right, let's go to the other side of the ball. Tampa Bay. They won, and Tom Brady is going back to his 14th conference title game. 14. Fuck
That's
this guy,
insane.
man.
I hate him.
I respect him.
I saw this funny meme saying that Tom Brady's been in the NFC for 1 year. You know which one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I know. I got that sent to me by 15 people, and I literally was like, "F all you guys."
Tell the viewers. I don't remember it exactly.
I know it. I'll tell you this.
Tom Brady, basically the Cowboys since whatever it was 97.
97.
Go for 13 or whatever it is, and then Tom Brady is 1 for 1 in his first year.
Yeah, I loved it. But I was also like,
This is also where stats mean nothing.
That's where
it's wild, man, because I hate Tom Brady, like, with a passion. And like, I thought I used to hate the Patriots, and I do hate the Patriots, but I hate Tom Brady too. but like you have to respect how good he is.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's insane, and I can't even deny it. And I adamantly root against him. But we were just talking about how Breeze's body is giving up on him, and Tom Brady's older, and yet here he is, like not only killing it, but he's about to go to a Super Bowl.
Just to the point of how much you hate Tom Brady. I hated Tom Brady so much. I rooted for the Giants and Eagles to win a Super Bowl because I did not want to see that man win more. And if there was ever a Cowboys Tom Brady like Super Bowl, I wouldn't watch the game. I would watch whatever else is on during that time.
Oh, man, you said the Eagles. Would you at least root for the Cowboys? Come
Nope,
on.
not even.
Wow.
Listen,
Wow.
It's funny because I also have like a hierarchy of hate. And so like everybody, Tom Brady trumps everybody. Like I hate the Seahawks. And when they played, I rooted for the Seahawks in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Tom Brady trumps everyone except the Cowboys. If
Yeah,
Tom Brady plays the Cowboys.
I hate the Eagles and I hate the Giants more than I hate Tom Brady.
Nah,
Really?
I don't like.
Football team, and then we've got Tom Brady. Then we have LeBron. We'll go for there.
It's funny because people don't hate Washington because there's nothing to hate. Like
Yeah.
we're not good.
It's like
You
hating.
You know what? I don't hate the Washington football team. I hate the Washington football team fans. They're assholes. All
That's
of you.
fair. That's
All
fair.
of you guys have been trolling my entire life.
Fans. You
Huh?
can say the same thing about Eagles fans. Like you can say
First
the
of
same
all,
thing about
first of
Ravens.
all, I will speak for myself, but most of my Cowboys fans and me, I don't say shit to you guys. It's always coming from you guys to me.
You're the exception.
You are
We
actually the
appreciate
exception.
you.
Yeah, you're the
You know
exception.
what?
And when I do say it to you guys, you're like, next season, whatever, next season. I'm like, I hate you guys. Let me have my fun.
Nope, can't do
By
that.
the way, I don't think I talk a lot of shit to you. I feel like I'm a nice fan to you.
Yeah, I don't even care enough. We're not good enough to talk shit about. Like, oh, we won the division, guys, at 7 and 9. We're so good.
You say that this week. The prior week, you're boasting about that.
I'm telling you that I am proud. Like a parent has to be proud of their kid. Okay, but
Fair
I'm not
enough.
proud.
Fair enough. But like as the Rush was alluding to, so now we've got the Bucks versus the Packers, right?
Yeah, so let's talk about the next round now. Bucks Packers is the NFC matchup, and what do y'all think? Right, you got Aaron Rodgers, who's arguably having one of the best years, even after his team wasted a first-round pick on a backup quarterback, which is baffling. Right, they could have had an extra piece somewhere in that
You
team.
can't say waste when they did the same thing to get Aaron Rodgers. With Brett
Sure.
Favre.
So in the long run, yeah, maybe it's not. But Aaron Rodgers doesn't look like he's slowing down. At least when they drafted Aaron Rodgers, I mean, maybe Brett Favre didn't look like he was slowing
Brett
down.
Favre didn't look like he was slowing down when he was on the Vikings before he retired.
Yeah,
He
that's
doesn't look like
true.
slowing down